So the wifey has been out here with her upholstery cleaner. Is that heavy? Hold on, let me get that lid for you, honey. Oh, well, you know what? Just leave it there because your mom's got these mattresses on the garbage can. So leave it there. I'll take care of it later. Thanks for bringing that out. All right, as I was saying, the wifey used the upholstery cleaner today while I was at work. She doesn't work on Fridays. She cleaned all the cushions with the upholstery cleaner. They passed the sniff test. I just came home and I was tired of busting my shins. On these aluminum bars here on the beds. So I went and got some pool noodles. I haven't put the one on that side yet. I went and got some pool noodles and just took a pair of scissors and sliced one side of it open all the way down, and then they just they go on here and give you something soft when you're climbing into the bed there. There's no more busted shins. You can see how bad these stains are, and there's a lot of mildew, mold. So the wifey is in here quilting the ceiling. Now over the winter, we're going to, you're on camera.
You're lucky I'm high for this stuff.
She's getting high off quilts, guys. But she's trying to kill the mold and mildew off with this quilts a little bit. She's taped everything off. Over the winter, when I redo the roof, we're going to redo the ceiling probably with FRP like I'm doing the side panels with. But anyway, she's doing this while I'm trying to chase down a wiring problem. I actually discovered this when I was doing the taillight video. I'm not sure what's going on. Like right now, what I'm doing is I'm tapping the running lights. I've got the running lights turned on, but none of the running lights are working. And I've got 12 volts at this plug. I've got 12 volts at this plug. But then the next plug, which is under here, sorry baby. Yeah, the next plug, which is under here, I'm only pulling 7.5 volts at this plug under here. I'm not sure what that's all about. I don't know if it's a ground issue or what's going on, but after I got the new taillights installed in the last video, all I had was I had a turn signal and a brake signal, or a turn signal and a brake light working on the driver's side. That's the only thing that was working. So I'm trying to figure out what the heck's going on here. It's got me a little bit baffled, but I'll get it figured out. Well, we're starting to get the wiring issue figured out. You know, I pulled the converter out, or the inverter, you know, whatever it is. But I pulled it out thinking it was bad, and well, it wasn't. It was working fine. You know, with the switch on 12 volts, I was getting 12 volts at a little plug there, but my interior lights still were not working, even though that plug was plugged in. Well, and also, I don't know if you can see it, but back here where my battery goes, there's no juice going to those cables. So then I started noticing those cables had these black wires, which I'm pretty sure are not supposed to be there. So I started looking around, and apparently someone had straight wired. If you look down here, someone had straight wired this plug directly to the battery. And you see I still got a bunch of black wires here. I've got to figure out what's going on, because what's going to happen is when I'm plugged in, it's not going to charge the battery, and it was not operating the lights off the converter. So I fixed that. We got our interior lights working, and I actually had some, I don't know if you can see that because of the brightness, but there you go. I had these LED bulbs that I'd bought off eBay a while back for like $5 for a pair of them. And I had actually bought them for a different project and they didn't work right. I bought them to use as interior lights in Project Steppenwolf, but they wouldn't juice up correctly. But they are working great in these lights. And you know, now we've got, oh, there's the wifey, she's on camera, and there's Miss Haley and Mr. Schuyler. They're working great in here though. I mean, we got, this is enough light in here. I may get some flat panel LEDs later to just give a little more downward directional light, but or I may actually get some kind of mirror pad to put up in here behind it to reflect the light even more. But yep, getting the wiring problems straightened out. All right, guys, we got good news. As far as the wiring goes, the lights outside, we finally figured out what's wrong, and the issue was the plug. The 7-prong plug that plugs into the back of the tow vehicle. Like the outside was kind of corroded, so I'd cleaned all the terminals and I thought I was good, but what it was is the inside was rusted solid. So you know, you could kind of smack on it a little bit and you'd get like 6 or 7 volts or even 12 volts for a second, but then it would go away real quick. So easily solved, 10 bucks. You know, went to Northern Tools. We actually got a cool one that sorry, I've got the hiccups, guys. We got a cool one that lights up when you turn your running lights on, so you know it's got a good connection. And it was like $10 at Northern Tools. So we got that wired up. All of our lights are working now. You know, we've got brake lights, tail lights, turn signals, yada yada. Also, update on the 6,000 BTU air conditioner. It is 91 degrees outside right now. The humidity is freaking horrible. We came out to this camper about an hour and a half ago, and it was like an oven in here. So we turned this thing on, went to the auto parts store, came back. Now it is not ice cold in this camper, but it is, I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, it's still 91 degrees outside. I'm sweating because I've been outside messing with that wiring prong, and the sun happened to be right where I was at, so that kind of sucked. But inside here, it's, you know, hour and a half of running this thing. It's probably, I would say it's probably 80 degrees or less in here, so it's, you know, it's pulling the temperature down pretty fast. And I also want to say, you know, this is in our driveway, so it's sitting on concrete. The sun is beating dead down on this thing, and we have no curtains or anything in here. As a matter of fact, I have still not put the FRP on this end, just because I'm going to silicone these cracks up a little bit before I put the FRP on. But my point is, you know, curtains help a lot when it comes to holding heat and cool inside one of these things, and we have no curtains hung up at all in here, you can see. So I really think this 6,000 BTU air conditioner, as long as there's not a ton of people in here, and you get it started earlier in the day before the heat really starts, so it can go ahead and start cooling it off. You know, don't shut the door and open it all the time. I think it's going to be good. At 8,000 would probably just have it freezing in here right now, but I don't want to have to lift an 8,000 BTU unit up. What we've talked about is, you know, I think it's tolerable in here, even at the other end, but what we've talked about is if this proves to not be enough, we already know it's going to be more than enough at night, because at night, we've had it running before at 80 degrees outside, and once the sun goes down, it gets freezing in here. But during the day, if we need it, you know, I might make another one of these boards here and to put in the other window, and maybe get just like a small 5,000 BTU, one of those $100 units from Walmart or something. But we'll just see how it goes on this first camping trip. So anyway, that's an update on that. You know, the wife got all this painted. At the beginning of this video, you saw where she was painting all this. So she got all this painted with kilts. Lights are working. We've got the wiring working to our, you know, our lights up here. Oh, wait, it's not plugged in. My bad. Not plugged in. Oh, no, it's plugged in. I just don't have it switched on. Hold on. Here we go. Converter. There we go. Yeah, so you got the lights working here. Our little fan up here, it works. You can hear that. That works. So that part's done. The only thing that I really need to work on now is the battery power, because we don't have... Sorry, I'm putting you guys at some awkward angles. Oh, there's the wifey. Hey, wifey.
Hey.
You know, if the battery's hooked up, the battery's not supplying any power, because, like I said, someone had redid the wiring to where the battery ran straight to the ceiling, and that's all it did. So I've got to fix that. I'm really not that concerned about it right now. I don't even have a battery in this thing. We're just running off external power for now. But anyway, yeah. So we're finally getting this stuff together. We're about to start working on a kind of a little canopy idea. So we're gonna mess with that a little bit now. We're working on our tarp awning deal, but the honest to God's truth is I'm not going to be able to fit it into this video, because there's kind of a lot to it. So I think I'm going to make a separate video on you know, making a awning slash Apache cover out of a tarp. So what I want to go over with, the last thing I want to talk about in this video is we were trying to find some curtains, and of course we don't have curtain sliders, so we're trying to find a way to attach them. And I'm just going to real quick go over my thought process. The first place we went is we went to a place called Bargain Hut. If you've got one locally, you know what that is. It's just, they get like one-off stuff, and we found this curtain that we absolutely loved. See if you can kind of see what it, you know, looks like there. You know, it's got the little green and yellow leaves. The problem was they only had one of these curtains. We got it for $5. The way Bargain Hut works is, you know, you've got your price marked here, which was $12, and then it's got a date, and they've got papers, and the older this date is, the more you get off of that price. And this one just happened to be up to 60% off. So we paid $5 for this curtain. It's 84 inches long, 54 inches wide. The problem is they only had one. So what we decided to do is buy it, because we really love this pattern, and we're going to cut it up and use it to make curtains for the bed end windows. And then if there's enough material left just to kind of tie everything together, we're going to make tie backs for the curtains that we ended up getting for the big windows here. Now, we were looking for some thermal curtains to help with our air conditioner efficiency, which, by the way, it is, let me look right now. I just love giving you guys updates on this this air conditioner that I have in here. It is currently, according to Siri, it is 74 degrees outside, and I've had the air conditioner running in this camper, you know, set on 65. I've had it running for heck, probably only about 30 minutes now, and it's freezing in here. So I don't use the term I sweat a lot, people, so I don't use the term freezing lightly. I mean, it's doing good in here at this temperature. Yesterday at 90, it took a while to get it cooled down in here with the sun directly on it and no curtains, but that's why we're going with these curtains. We found these at Big Lots, and they were you get two panels. They're 63 inches long, which is a little long for these windows, but that's okay. They're only 30 inches wide, but you get two of them in a pack. So what we're going to do is we're going to put three of them over each window here. Anyway, we're going to use a total of 10 of these. Okay, so 5 packs of these. We bought 4 yesterday. We're going to have to go to another Big Lots to try to find 2 more. Or I mean to find 1 more pack. But these are the Sundown Thermal Energy Saving. I don't know if you can see that. Sundown Thermal Energy Saving by Eclipse. And like I said, 2 panels for let's see, I don't want to lie to you guys. I don't know if we've got a price tag in here. I want to make sure I'm giving you guys the right price. I think they were $15 per pack of 2 like this. But anyway, you'll notice the color in these, some of the colors are the same as the colors in this that we really liked, like these colors up here. So even though these, we really don't care for the pattern much, they were cheap and they're thermal, so they're going to help this air conditioner pull down the temperature in here and keep it down. And you know, if we can cut some tie backs out of this, because we're going to be making curtains for the end windows out of this big curtain here, you know, we figure if we can make some tie backs out of the material left from this, it'll kind of tie everything together, since this is the same, you know, color in here. So that's the deal with that. Now, what I wanted to go over with you is ways to attach these curtains. You know, I don't have the little plastic tabs because we didn't get any curtains with this. So I don't have the little plastic tabs. So I've been going over, you know, how I was going to attach this, and I'm gonna show you guys like what I came up with, what my original thought process was. Okay. Oh, there's a wifey walking by. You can come on in, honey. Don't be scared of the camera. It's just a camera, and you're gorgeous. My original thought process was to just do something to permanently attach them, because we're not planning on really sliding the curtains back and forth. Like I said, we're planning on using tie backs. You know, you've got your buttons here for your original tie backs, and that's what we're going to use. So we're never really planning on sliding the curtains to and fro. Okay, it's going to be a matter of pulling them over and using tie backs. All right, so we're not like I said, we're not really worried about sliding them. So at first I thought about permanently attaching them, and the idea I'd come up with was you can actually take a screw. Like, this is just an example. You don't have to use a screw like this. You can actually take a screw like this right here, and it will slide. Let's see if I can get this. Sorry if I'm making you guys sick moving the camera around. But you can hook it in here, and look at that. See, it hooks in there and it slides just fine. So my original plan was to, instead of using plastic clips, to get a bunch of screws like this, but a lot shorter. I'm going to turn you where maybe you can see me. Like I said, screws like this, but a lot shorter. And just like, well, maybe I'm not going to turn you where you can see me, because you don't care what I'm doing, you care what I'm showing you. So I was going to just take the screws, poke it through the material, and just take like a little piece of plastic or something and screw it into it like that. So essentially you'd have like something like this sticking out of the back of the curtain, but you know, a lot short, ideally shorter. You know, you'd have about that much sticking out of the back of the curtain. You can just hook them in there and slide them. And there's nothing wrong with that, guys. I mean, you know, I think that was a pretty good idea. And, you know, you guys can do it that way if you want. That's the way I was going to do it. But while I was at Lowe's looking for screws, something else popped into my head. And this is what popped into my head. See this garage door seal? What did we pay for this, honey? I think it was like $10, $12. Yeah, I think it was like $12 for this garage door seal, and you get 18 feet of it. All right, and I want you to look at this at the end. It's a T. It's a T on the top and a T on the bottom. Okay, so here's my idea. Like, I put it up there, and it turns out that this seal, I'm gonna cut a piece off here for demonstrative purposes. You just cut this off here like this, and I want to show you guys. This T right here will go right into this channel, and it doesn't slide very well. but it does stay in there. Like I'm pulling pretty hard there. It does stay in there. And it slides well enough to allow you to get it in. Now remember, I said I didn't care about sliding. Now the reason it doesn't slide well, even though it fits well, is because it's rubber and not plastic. It's a soft rubber. But what's good about that is because it's a soft rubber, it folds over with barely any pressure. Now, here's the thing. Some of you've probably already caught on to what I'm doing here. So you can take this, you can cut a piece of this section off, all right? Then you can cut it in half down the middle, because there's a T on both sides, and you're left with this. You've got your T, and you've got some pliable rubber that you should be able to sew through. So now here's my new plan. I come down about this far on the curtain, take a sewing machine, or you could even, you know, if you're one of those kick back in your chair and mess with stuff like this type of people, you could even use like fishing line and a needle and a thimble, and you just sew these tabs to your curtains ever so many inches. Then you just take this, like I just showed you, take this, put it in the channel here, slide it over, and you've got your curtains hung. We've got our little tabs that we cut out, and all I've done is I've made a little template out of a piece of wood here to mark where I want, you know, where I want all these to go and how far down from the top I want it to go. So I just lay that on my new curtain, and then you know, I mark it off with a pencil, and then I just take these little tabs, lay them on here at the top of my mark, centered on my mark, take a piece of masking tape, back the camera up just a little bit, take a piece of masking tape to hold it in place. And now at this point, if you're using a sewing machine, you know, you could just run it through and sew these on. I'm not doing that yet. I will be doing that at a later date, but for now, we're just stapling it. So what I do is I come in here, the ones on the end, I'm putting 3 staples in. Oh, messed up on that one. Wow, I've done 6 curtains and this is my first screwed up staple. All right, figures it would be when it was on camera. But I put that in there, and then I take it, lay it down on the table, and you don't want these staples coming out, so just tap them down with a hammer there. And like I said, if you're sewing it, then you know, that's a better way to do this, of course. But I'm in a hurry. We're camping this weekend, so I'm stapling it right now. But anyway, that's how I attach the tabs that we make out of the garage door seal. We got the first one done. You can see all the tabs sewn on there. Well, they're not sewn on. Like I said, I stapled them on for now, but they're all on there. You can't really even see the staples from the back side, but we'll try to get this put on here. Okay guys, I found a better way of doing this, so you don't have to slide this. Uh-oh, that one's hitting right on that. Well, we're bunching it, so no, it's not. Instead of putting these in and then trying to slide them over, since obviously, you know, I didn't intend these to slide, just get the lower part of the T in and take like a paint scraper, and you can just pop that part in, and then it's in there. So that's how we're doing that, and it's way easier than trying to slide them all the way over once you've put them in. See that? Alrighty. Alright guys, so that's been our camper update on our Apache. You know, the curtains, the wiring, you know, the little noodles, you know, the foam noodles over the bed ends, you know, just a little update on the stuff that we're doing. As I've probably already said 2 or 3 times, there's going to be a video coming on the canopy deal that we're making. But anyway, if you like this video, if it helped you out, hit the thumbs up button, and if you want to see more, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time on Bad Luck Garage.